Right? You know, I talk to people all the time about the power of choice. Okay, I always say choice is your superpower. Okay, choice is actually the hinges of destiny. The things that there's no such thing as destiny. There's only choices. Okay, good and or bad, and the choices that you make will dictate your future as they have dictated where you are right now. Look at where you are right now. Where you are right now is as a result of choices. All right? And one of the most important skills to build is the skill of making good choices. Okay? One of the most important skills to lose is the skill of making bad choices. I know a lot of people that make very bad choices. They make choices when they're angry. They make choices when they're upset. They make choices when they're emotional. They make their choices out of emotion as opposed to rationale. Okay? And one of the worst things that can happen, right, is when you make decisions like that. And one of the good parts about learning how to make better choices is to remember the ramifications of past choices. Okay? Remember the last time you made a choice out of frustration, out of anger, out of jealousy, out of whatever it is, okay? And not out of rationale. Did you actually sit down and think about it? You know, one of my most famous quotes is, the best math you can learn is the future price of current decisions, choices. A lot of times we're bombarded with choices, okay? And what makes people better or worse is their capacity to fully evaluate the choice that they're making, okay? See how far out this choice goes, all right? See how far out this choice goes. See whether or not this is actually going to work for you long term. It may make you feel good right now, but what are the ramifications? Because I always say, you know, no one is immune to the consequences of their actions, the consequences of their choices. And the sad thing is that the world will lie to you. People around you will lie to you. Society is systematically and routinely lying to people about the ramifications of poor choices. You know? I was talking to someone yesterday, and we were talking about weight gain. And they had had a conversation with their daughter, who had gone to college and had gone up to over 200 pounds as a 22-year-old. And you know, now society is telling young women, well, somebody just has to love me as I am. And I think a lot of times we get deluded about that statement, as I am, love me for me, you know, because it sounds good. Of course it sounds good. Love me for me. I'm always going to be me. I talked about that the other day, that defiant attitude, even though when you're wrong, you're messed up, but you want people to love you for you. Well, here's the thing. She said one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard to her daughter. She says, this is not who you are, though. This is who you allowed yourself to become. How many people out there have allowed themselves to become a lesser version of themselves? A lesser version that they don't even want to accept. But yet they're trying to sell that stir-fried garbage to the world. If you don't even want to accept yourself to where you got to go out and wear tons of makeup and wraps around your waist and compression things to make yourself look smaller than what you really are, but you want people to accept what you've allowed yourself to become, not the best version of you. There's one thing if you have worked hard And it's the best you got. But that's what I asked yesterday. Is this the best you have? Is this the best you got? Is the best you can do? Or there's some stir-fried garbage you're trying to package up and sell to us as gold when it's not even worthy of you? For a lot of people, the choices that they've made have allowed themselves to become lesser versions of who they are, versions not even worthy of standing in the body, in the mind of who you could be. And as opposed to making the choice of changing your actions, changing your mindset, putting in the work to change it, you now try to sell it as if this is who you are, when you know good and damn well that's not who you are. It's just who you've allowed yourself to become. You've sunk to that level. And yes, I'm using a harsh word. You've sunk to that level. And it's not like it's something you can't change. You can change it. But you're allowing the world to lull you to sleep with fake praise. You're allowing the other degenerates, the other ne'er-do-wells, to lull you to sleep, to make you actually believe that this is who you are. It's not who you are. Who you are is the best of you. And if you're not performing at your best, it's simply who you're allowing yourself to sink into. Okay? It's not who you are at all. At all. It's who you've allowed yourself to sink to. Once again, you're always choosing. We are always choosing. Every single day we make a choice. Every day I wake up, I make a choice. Am I going to live up to or try to live up to the best version of myself? Or am I going to settle for who I am today? Am I going to push the envelope to see if I can be better than even who I am today? Even though who I am today is working for me. Right? But is there a possibility that I could be better? And if there is, don't I owe it to myself to be the better version of myself? Don't I owe it to myself? Like yesterday I talked about, you owe you the best version of yourself. Forget everybody else, okay? Because everybody else doesn't really count. That's secondary or third or fourth, right? But you owe you the best version of yourself. And then when you're the best version of yourself, we all benefit from you being the best version of yourself. But think about how many people right now who have allowed themselves to be lesser versions of themselves, have platforms that are now telling you it is okay to settle for a lesser version of yourself. And some of them are even lying to you and telling you it's actually going to get better for you later. How? How is it possibly going to get better for you when you are allowing yourself to sink? You are allowing yourself to degenerate. You're building disease. You're tiptoeing around the line of high blood pressure and stroke. They should be ashamed of themselves. Selling that garbage to people. And the sad thing is that when you're sitting there on the bottom, that sounds like music to you. Because guess what? You don't have to change anything. You expect for everybody else to change to accommodate you and your bullshit, but you don't have to change nothing. You get to sit there and say, well, you should love me for me. Is this you? When you were sitting there at 12 years old, this where you thought you was going to be? Is this what you thought you was going to look like? Is this how you thought you were going to be feeling? Do you like how you feel? Would you like to feel better? Have you done anything about those things? Because every day that you don't do something about it, you are choosing to remain there. And right there, you get what you get. The world will lie to you, of course. The world will tell you, oh, you're all good. Don't worry about them. This is not about them. It's about you. And yes, it does bleed out to the people around you, but it catches you first. Forget them. How long are you going to allow yourself to stay right there? Wake up every day in pain, inflammation, not liking where you are. In many cases, not even liking to look at yourself in the mirror. And don't get me wrong, we all age, right? We all age and things change, and life gets you. But when you know that you can, could, should do something about it, and every single day you wake up and you don't, you're choosing to be there. You're also choosing the consequences of your actions or lack thereof. You don't have the right to complain. And you damn sure don't have the right to demand acceptance from others. When you look at yourself and you know what you're doing, you don't even want to accept it yourself. The only reason why you pretend to do it is because you don't want to work. We have chances in life all the time to transform. We get messages. We get inspiration. Maybe today is that day you get inspired. Maybe it's that day you hear that word. This is not who you are. This is just who you've allowed yourself to become. But the good news is, you can make a different choice. Look around you. A lot of people make the choice. A lot of people change. And we're not just talking about physically. They change mentally too. A lot of people grow. They get out of that stuck mentality. They don't like the life they were living. They decide, guess what? I'm going to create a better existence. The world doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't owe you love. It doesn't owe you even acceptance. Get that out of your mind. The world doesn't owe you that. But the truth is, you owe yourself love. And you owe yourself to accept yourself and to demand the most from yourself. If you won't give yourself the best, why the hell would I give you my best? Think about it. If you will not give yourself the best of your attention, the best of your actions, the best of your mind, the best of your effort, why the hell would I, or should you even expect me to give you my best? Where to do that at? You're not even donating to your own cause. A lot of times when you go and you ask for a loan from a bank, what do they want to know about you and your business? How much have you invested in this business? How much have you put into this now? How much have you put into yourself? And now you want me to take my whole everything and invest it in something that you even haven't invested in? What kind of investment have you put into yourself? We always talk about love. Love is not just lip service. Love is action. I asked that of my client the other day. I said, name me a few actions you've taken today that prove to me you love yourself. Were those actions the best actions for you? Did you take care of yourself mentally, physically? Show me how. Tell me, what did you do to take care of yourself? That then encourages me to follow suit. How have you loved yourself today? How have you taken care of yourself? So you chose not to, but you're demanding that I do. Get out of here. Sometimes we have to call ourselves to task. Okay? And yes, I know for a lot of people this message may rub you wrong, but maybe it's the exact same message you need to hear. Because I think there's enough people out here in this world trying to make you feel good about yourself, make you feel good about what you've allowed yourself to become. Maybe I'm the one that's going to shake you and make you ask that question. Is this who I am, or just who I've allowed myself to become? Imagine a crackhead sitting there in the gutter, high, dirty, nasty, and say, you gotta just love me for me. Is this who you are, or just who you've allowed yourself to become because you let yourself go? Toxic behavior, toxic thinking, toxic mentality, toxic food. Those things are not you. Toxic thoughts, toxic culture. Those things are not you. Those things that you choose. You can choose differently. Millie says a gentle shake. I don't do gentle shakes. This is meant to jolt you out of your sleep. Because nobody else seems to be doing it. Everybody else seems to be promising you grandeur, large returns on no investment. You know? How? How? Something to think about. Happy Tuesday, guys. Melinda says, the truth will set you free. I always tell people this, okay? The truth will never set you free unless you release the lie that's holding you hostage. I can sit here and tell you the truth all you want, but if there's a certain set of lies that you have believed, that you have accepted, right? They can never override the truth. You have to dismantle that lie. You have to call yourself to task, like simple questions. Is this who I am, or is this who I've just allowed myself to become? And once you say, whoa, 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 I did this. I allowed myself to be here. I look around me and I see people who did the same thing, but they changed. They made different choices. I could do that. Then when I start talking to you about the things you can do to change, it'll make sense to you. But unless and until you release that lie, it sounds like bullshit. Sorry. Doesn't make sense. He doesn't know what you're talking about. He doesn't know me. I'm different. I feel good. Knowing good and damn well you don't. It's not even possible. It's not even possible. Okay? People that feel good don't mask themselves. They come out unedited. Okay? Someone says the truth can bite. The truth always bites. The truth is sharp. It is. Anyway, something to think about, guys. You know, and I think a lot of truth, honesty, and transparency is necessary. And unfortunately, the people who tell the truth, they're not popular. Because right now, in this world of ultra acceptance and soft soaking, and everything is okay and everything goes, you know, it sounds controversial. It sounds mean-spirited. You know, it does. It sounds mean-spirited. Who am I to tell you you can't love yourself at a lesser version of yourself? Who says I don't like where I am? You said that. You said that every time you walked out and you try to mask it, hide it, and repackage it. You know it because you know that you're better than that. You just don't want to do the work. Accept responsibility, and then you can change it.